Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel. My name is Tony. This is the 15-minute gaming channel, and Star Citizen patch 3.14.0D has been released to EVOCATI. So as normal, let's have a look at the new features, bugs and issues. There's a hell of a lot in this one, by the way, so it may go on a little bit longer than normal. But before all that, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, tap the notification bell and like the video. Right, without further ado, let's crack straight on with it. The testing focus in this one is Crusader, Orison Landing Zone, Law System version 2 Surrender, Power Management version 2, Missile Operator Mode, Radar Scanning and Ping Tier 0. In this build, you're limited to the Aurora MR, Mustang Alpha, Gladius, 300i, Vanguard Warden, F7C, F7CM, Retaliator, Hammerhead, Arrow and Buccaneer. So it's nice to see there's more ships involved now. Right, moving on to them known issues. So up first, as always, is known issues. Gas clouds on Crusader still have them graphical artifacts which appear as dots. Large frame rate drops in most areas of Orison. Various UI markers are faded and hard to read. Orison elevator buttons can be missing up close. Unable to shoot the Hammerhead turrets. The indicator showing how much quantum fuel a vehicle has remaining will always display nil/0. Male character's animation when entering cockpit/pilot seat jumps part of the movement sequence. Missions do not recognize players entering a zone and AI are unresponsive. There are uneven physics at the hospital entrance which prevent players from taking trolleys, walking frames and gurneys in and out of the hospital. Multiple ships can be observed having looping animations with their missile racks, impacting their ability to fire their payload. So after the first fire, nothing else will happen. Right, now this is getting into more complex stuff. We have new features which is all around missiles, so listen carefully. Missile Operator Mode is a new operator mode that will be used to separate the gun and missile/torpedo gameplay within ships. Using this mode will give pilots more control over what missiles/torpedoes are fired and give them more character and purpose in combat. They should no longer be viewed as just another weapon, but have a more distinct and important role in the overall flow. There's also going to be a thing where basically if the player begins firing missiles without a lock, the missiles will dumbfire. This can be used for ground targets, bombing runs, and emergency situations. Accessing the operator mode. Basically, access to the operator mode is given by a keybind. At the moment, it's middle mouse button or on toggle. Upon accessing the mode, players will lose control of every other ship weapon and gain control of the missile systems. All other weapons will return to a natural gimbal position and it'll sort of stop tracking, that sort of thing, where the missile weapon systems will deploy and the ship will emit increased signals. Selecting ordnance, players will only be able to lock and fire one kind of missile class at a time, e.g. Ignite, Rattler, Arrestor, not just size or tracking type. In addition, each missile rack will only be able to stock one model of missile. On entering the mode, one type of missile will automatically be selected, ordered by class for consistency across ships and player sessions. Players can then cycle forward and back over these missile types, with the currently selected missile prominent in the HUD and the previous and next class of missiles also visible so the player knows what they will cycle to next. Players can set how many missiles they wish to fire in a burst. They must then wait for each missile to arm before it can be fired. Locking a target. If a player is in missile operator mode and has a locked combat target, the missile will automatically begin locking onto the target. The locking process is no longer binary. After a minimum level of lock to acquire the target, the longer you lock for, the better the lock becomes, and the harder the missile will become to spoof. This is achieved with a simple multiplier of the target's signal. This means that the missile requires other contacts to have a significantly larger signal than the original to be distracted by them. A target must be fully resolved before a missile will track it, meaning that enemy targets can try and outplay another ship locking a missile to them by releasing countermeasures or flying closer to larger targets before the missile is even launched. If the missile's target isn't fully resolved before the launch, it will simply dump fire forward. As discussed before, it doesn't need a target lock for that. Fire an ordnance. At any point after the first missile has been armed, the player can initiate the launch procedure, which will fire any currently armed missiles and begin a cooldown until they can next begin arming missiles. If the player begins firing missiles without a lock, the missiles will be dumbfired. This can be used for ground targets, bombing runs and stuff as we discussed before. Missiles guidance and control rework. Converted missiles to use the Ifcs guidance and control systems. This will improve missile performance and tracking ability, enabling greater control over general missile behaviors. Right, moving away from that, we've got feature updates, locations. There is further performance optimizations on the Orison landing zone, and moving into gameplay, which is radar, scanning, and ping tier 0. So they have overhauled radar, scanning, and pinging system, which is the tab by default. Scanning is used to obtain information about a specific entity. Ping actively finds additional contacts or highlights volumes of space to investigate weak signatures, both of which are displayed via the radar and its AR HUD elements. This includes a new UI element for infrared emitted by heat generating entities, electromagnetic EM emitted by entities which draw/use or generate electrical power in cross section, which is CS, representing how visible an entity is based on its size and how reflective its surface types are. The larger a contact is and the more of its profile it presents, the greater its CS signature is. Blobs are generated when an entity's signature strength is strong enough to reach the radar, but not otherwise strong enough to be detected as a contact. These blobs are visually divided into cuboids. The ships display and indicate a volume of space to investigate where an entity or entities might be located. The size of the blob is determined is determined based on the base signature strength and entity, meaning the larger the blob is, the less accurate its representation of an entity's position is. That was a lot of words and a lot of blobs. IFCS, thruster wind volume effect. So this is building on the thruster wind volumes. So basically now the ability is there for wind volumes to affect ground materials like dust and snow more accurately, and with new dynamic effects when flying low to planet surfaces. Ship capacitors, weapon and flight balance pass added the options to automatically enable disable boost during space braking, and they've added a few more things in there, just balance pass as you'd expect for that new feature. Increased detection range of mineable rocks and added a new display option for party nameplates. Core tech, they updated the main menu background video. Right, and finally moving on to their major bug fixes. So this is what's been fixed since the last patch. Fixed an issue causing purchase carryable items to disappear very quickly after they are dropped. Star map and equipment manager interface should no longer be blurry when in the pilot seat. Fixed an issue that was causing ship holograms to be displayed when not in scanning mode. Decoys should now correctly protect from IR heat-seeking missiles. Players should now be able to rearm missiles when using the vehicle maintenance surface. Top weapon mount on the Hornet should now properly power and regen energy-based weapons. Quantum traveling from Crusader OM to any other Crusader OM should no longer result in the player's ship exploding while in transit. I can guarantee that's going to happen. That sounds like something that will happen. Small square light dots should no longer appear on the floor around the elevator in Orison's Voyager bar. Fixed missing glass collision in the viewing platform near the whale station at Orison. Scanning mode should now work correctly in all Anvil Hornet variants. Drake Buccaneer's quantum drive should now work correctly. Fixed an issue that could sometimes cause a docked Merlin to be out of position when a player re-enters the game in their constellations. A second player spawning a ship at a docking collar at a space station should no longer sometimes cause ships still in the vicinity of the tube to lose collision. Fixed an issue causing players not to get armistice violation for locking targets in green zones. Fixed an issue that was causing the multi-tool to not be able to scan FPS deposits. Fixed an issue causing some missiles to have no audio when fired. Fixed an issue in area commander racing matches, which should no longer immediately end if players ram into each other. fixed an issue with the gravity in the prison. Players should no longer be able to access the prison mine caves through the surface of the planet. Technical, fixed 10 client crashes, fixed 5 server crashes. And there we go. I did miss a few things there of the known bugs and fixed issues, just the ones that didn't sound too much fun and sounded a bit boring. But anyway, saying all of that, I hope you enjoyed the patch notes. The missile gameplay sounds quite exciting. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that. And I just can't wait to get down on Orison and see what it looks like. Let me know in the comments down below what you're looking forward to, what you're excited about. Does this patch excite you? And I'll catch you on the next one. Goodbye.